How are we doing, everyone? Sam from United People's TV. I'm here with Ozzy, Galatasaray fan. As you can see, here to preview the upcoming game this weekend. How you doing, Ozzy? Thanks for coming in.
Very good. It's a pleasure. Thanks.
Obviously, Man United have had a bit of an up and down pre-season so far. We've had one game against Wigan, won 2-0. Then we played Borussia Dortmund, and we proceeded to get beat 4-1. And the game against Man City never went ahead because it was awful conditions. I'm not sure why they arranged it there, but Beijing, notorious for storms in the summer. It rained and the game got called off. So we're coming to Stockholm, Sweden, having only played and won one game and humiliated in the other. I mean, how's your pre-season gone so far yourselves? You started quite early, didn't you?
Yeah, we started in early July. It's been okay for us so far. We've had a couple of 1-1 draws against some relatively small clubs. We had some convincing wins as well. It's been more of a chance for us to test our current squad and to see where our gaps are. I think we've known for a long time that we have a gap in the striker area. And in fact, our coach, Jan Olderikering, has just left our only real striker in the squad back in Istanbul.
So why has he done that?
Well, he's pretty, how can I say, below par. He's not good enough really to play for the club, and the fans have been saying this for a while, and he's taken the action, he's left him behind. So he's for sale, and we need one or two strikers to fill that gap.
Do you think you'll do that? Because you've only made one signing this summer. His name is, I've got it written down here just so I didn't get it wrong. Serdar Aziz?
Yes,
you got it wrong as well.
No, very good, very good. You've done your research.
I've done my research, kind of have to. But, so do you think you'll sign another striker? And going into this game against United, you're saying that in attack you're not really offering much? That's
absolutely right. I mean, in the striker department, we basically have nobody. Podolski is still having his break after international duty after the Euros.
Yeah.
And like I said, Umut has been left behind, so we don't really have anyone there. We've got a couple of youngsters who might fill that gap, but really we're going to be attacking from the wings. So we've got Bruma on the left and Sinan Gümüş on the right. Well, they can also swap. But to go back to your question about the transfers, we're leaving it a little bit late, and I think our fans are getting quite annoyed with the chairman. Because he's been kind of dragging his feet in the transfer department. Like you said,
I think United fans can relate to that. Mr. Woodward over the last few years.
Yeah. Although at least you guys have 100 million plus in the kitty to spend.
Well, yeah. To be fair, like when you've got tomato juice sponsors in Kazakhstan, the money comes flying in. So maybe that's what Galatasaray have got to do.
Yeah. Well, that's what we need. We need to branch out to Kazakhstan.
Exactly. That's where all the money is apparently. I mean, going into this game, there's two big talking points as far as I'm concerned. Number one, it's going to potentially be Zlatan's debut. He hasn't played for Man United yet. He's obviously been given an extra break after Euro 2016 by Jose Mourinho. What are your thoughts on Zlatan at United? Do you think he's going to, because he scored 50 plus goals last year, but people have got question marks all around him. 34. Is he over the hill? Do you think he can be the danger man again this year?
Look, I think there's an old saying in football. Form is temporary, but class is permanent.
Yeah.
And Zlatan is one of the guys who is kind of the epitome of that saying. He's 34, but he's still banging in the goals, and he's a guy who is made for the stage. He's a real showman.
Yeah.
And he's always been waiting for his chance to play in the Premier League and to play at a huge club like United. I think it's what he's always dreamt of in his career. On top of that, he's aligned with Mourinho now. So I think he's going to deliver the goods for United this season. I think he's probably going to be the biggest asset.
I hope you're right. I mean, if you look at the impact he's got at United in terms of being a big player, we're playing a friendly in Stockholm, in Sweden, and it's going to be his debut. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think
well said.
We specifically added that this wasn't even a friendly that was on the original list, just like the Wigan game. It kind of got added at a later date. And that's sort of the impact that a player like Zlatan can have, and we've lacked leaders. Back in the times when you see Fergie, when we came to play you at Galatasaray,
we forget.
Great games there, and we had players like Cantona, obviously the famous game, but we don't really have players like that in this squad, and someone like Zlatan coming in and putting his arm around the shoulder of Rashford and Martial is an exciting prospect, because if you can have a year learning from one of the best strikers of the last 2 decades, I mean, he's got 12 titles in 13 years. Hopefully he can go on and get 13 and 14 at United this year, but it might be a big ask. But how do you think Mourinho is going to get on at United as well? From a completely neutral point of view, looking in from the outside, are United now in the right position?
I think, look, I'm a big Mourinho fan, to be honest. I think he, like I mentioned about Zlatan before, who's been waiting for his chance to get to the Premier League, I think secretly Mourinho has always wanted and craved this job at United. I think Sir Alex is someone he always respected, and the opportunity for him to try and fill his boots, to try and emulate Sir Alex, is something that's really going to motivate Mourinho. Also, he's got a fabulous squad. He's potentially going to buy Pogba as well.
Fingers crossed, but I'm not saying anything. I've been doing
still,
daily videos on him,
yes.
but you just don't know what's going on with Pogba. But you say you've got no attackers, but Bruma himself has got 5 goals in 4 games in the pre-season.
Yeah,
he's really banging them in. Is he going to be your danger man?
I think he's the man to watch against United on Saturday. Yes, I think he was on loan last season in Spain. He didn't really light up La Liga, but he's always had the quality, and he was such an exciting player in the Under-20 World Cup a couple of years back. Yeah. And off the back of that is when Galatasaray signed him from Sporting Lisbon for quite a lot of money. So I think now is his chance to prove himself to the fans, to prove himself not just to the fans, but to himself, that he's the guy who can really lead and allow himself a chance in the Portuguese national team as well. Because there was a time when he was seen as kind of the understudy for Cristiano Ronaldo, and he was picked in the squad in his place on one occasion as well in the national team. So I think this is his chance now. Like you said, he's banging in the goals in pre-season, and they're not just any old tap-in. He's really taking on 5-6 guys and scoring. One of the things he was lacking was his finishing, and he looks like he's been working on that this summer. So
that's good for you then.
That's something to watch.
Yeah. That's a nice, exciting player for you to have. I mean, what sort of game are you expecting on Saturday? It is a friendly after all, and I think the fact that it's going to be Zlatan's debut might overshadow the occasion in terms of what everyone's actually turning up to watch. But it's still a game to be won. Yeah,
absolutely. And you mentioned Zlatan, actually. Last summer, there was a lot of transfer talk about Zlatan actually leaving PSG to come to Galatasaray. Back last year, we had a much more attractive offer, I guess. We had Champions League football and more stability in the club. But it'll be interesting to see, because a lot of Galatasaray fans are very excited about him coming to Gala. Now we're going to be seeing him playing for the other side. But I think it's going to be, well, like you said, both teams haven't really had the best pre-season. Both of them had a spectacularly bad last season.
Yeah.
So there isn't too much really in terms of confidence for either side. I'm expecting it to be bogged down in the midfield, to tell you the truth, most of the game. I think Zlatan's going to be under a bit of pressure to impress, so he might not get too much of the ball to start with. He might start a bit cagey. We don't really have a striker, so we're not going to get much of the ball up front, which is why I'm saying it's going to be stuck in the midfield a little bit. But I think it's going to be an entertaining match. The two clubs have played so many matches over the last 15, 20 years that we've always been in for a show, so I expect nothing different.
I don't think we're going to get flares and 20,000 fans inside.
Well, you never know.
Stockholm.
Galatasaray fans are something else.
Are you going to bring some ultras?
Well, there may be some ultras there. There may be some flares. So Galatasaray fans don't disappoint. So.
Well, good. That's probably going to. I genuinely think that probably will be the most entertaining part of the game.
Yeah, well, it could be.
I hope not, but you know, I'm just being pessimistic because of pre-season, and we've beaten 4-1 by Dortmund. But give me a prediction.
Well, the pessimist in me says United's going to win. The optimist says Gala's going to win. But the realist is telling me it's going to be a draw. I'm going to go with 1-1.
1-1. 1-1. I was going to say 1-1, but then, you know, it's just written for Zlatan to score the winner. So I'm going to go 2-1 with a Zlatan winner, just to kick it all off, because it just seems right. And I don't really know what to think about United this season. There's so much that's changed for us over the last 3 years. But Mourinho's come in and been very systematic with his signings. It's been a slow start to this pre-season, but if anything, last season under Louis van Gaal, we won every single game in pre-season.
Right.
And that's taught me that it's not a prelude to a wonderful season. So I don't really mind about the results. You just want to see players getting fit. And that's the most important thing. But thank you very, very much for coming in, Ozzy.
Absolute pleasure. May the best team win.
Yeah, I would say I wish you best of luck, but do I really mean it? Probably not. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. And that's it for the preview. And we'll see you after the game on Saturday, hopefully after a Zlatan winner. Thank you, everyone, and take it easy.